Welcome,
Thank you.
to the Level 39 Yellow Sofa. Andy McLoughlin here of Huddle, co-founder of Huddle, that's right.
Correct.
How many years ago did you found Huddle?
We founded Huddle at I left my proper job. I had a proper job until the end of 2006. I left it in November 06 and we founded the company then, and we really kind of started properly though. I think we launched in April 2007.
And how is Huddle doing?
Huddle is doing well. We have 160 something people spread between 4 offices. So we're just opening our DC office this month as well. To kind of capitalise on all the good work we've been doing in government. But we're kind of co-headquartered between here and London. Right now we are, I can probably see it kind of over there through the window down on Silicon Roundabout in Tech City. And in San Francisco we're in the kind of trendy Soma district.
In the event that I've just heard you on stage at Disrupting London, you seem to err towards America as your favourite.
We are, at the end of the day, still a very British company. I mean, we have to be international, right? Because we're selling to an international audience, an American audience. So we have to be American enough to sell. But I think the Americans appreciate, they love the fact that we're also kind of quintessentially British business. In terms of what I like, to be honest with you, I kind of think of home as being where your widescreen TV is. So, home is San Francisco. It's where my girlfriend is, and our cats, or they were her cats, they're now our cats. Every time I say her cats, I get a poke in the ribs.
What are the names of the cats?
Hanzo and Moki.
No pauses there for the name of the cats at all, so that's a point to you. That's fantastic.
If she ever sees this, she'll be quite
chuffed.
impressed. Yeah.
She'll be chuffed. Does it help you being the Englishman abroad in the US?
I think you get away with stuff that Americans might not be able to. I can kind of swear, and most Americans would probably say that's inappropriate because it's British, like, gosh, isn't he charming and intelligent? But I think that in business as in your personal life, anything that sets you apart from the crowd is generally kind of useful as long as it's not too freaky.
It's like having inventive socks and brown brogues.
And the same shoes.
Yeah, sets us apart, doesn't it? Except for each other.
Exactly.
Am I right in believing you did your funding rounds in the US and you sort of propelled yourself over that side of the Atlantic rather than here?
Yeah, so we raised our first funding round from a VC named Eden Ventures, who are a British VC. Actually started off in Bath, and they've got offices up here in London now. But when we came to raise our B round, we realised that we would get a better valuation, probably a better deal, by working with an American VC. I mean, they're a bit more laissez-faire, a bit less conservative than UK venture capitalists traditionally have been. And we always knew that if we were going to make this business a big global business, we'd probably have to raise money on the US at some point, on US soil. So we made the decision to raise out there, and following that round, the VC said that we need at least one of the founders to move out to the US to kind of spearhead the operation. And I said, I will do it. I will move to America.
You really did surrender yourself for the cause there, didn't you?
Somebody had to do it. It's a tough job.
Fell on the sword.
Literally fell on the sword. Fell on that wonderful sword.
Do you think that the UK will ever catch up to the US in those terms?
What, in terms of the readiness of capital and?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but I don't think it's an issue simply because London has so much more going for it. When you think about what Silicon Valley has, it's just technology. And I think lots of cities try to replicate that kind of Silicon Valley ethos of, build a company, successful exit, reinvest money, and then kind of you get this nice virtuous circle. And I think there's a lot of room to do that in London more because traditionally people make their money and then sort of live in the Cotswolds. But what London has and what New York has, which Silicon Valley will never have, is a thriving financial industry, a thriving arts industry, legal, creative.
Please describe Silicon Valley as you did earlier from the stage.
So, I'm not a huge fan of Silicon Valley. And I think the one thing that people sometimes don't realise is that San Francisco and Silicon Valley aren't actually that close together. They're close enough that there is that kind of whole ecosystem thing, but to drive from San Francisco to Mountain View is about an hour in the car. And San Francisco is a city, it has arts and culture and bars and clubs and restaurants and all the good stuff that we like. Silicon Valley is a collection of suburbs, and I described it, and have described it on a number of times as like Reading with palm trees.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, and Reading.
Sorry, Reading.
Sorry, Reading.
For one thing, sorry, Reading. It wasn't me. Level 39 does not necessarily support the view that Reading is. But I can't speak for Huddle.
Well, actually, I technically I'm not speaking for Huddle either. I'm speaking for me.
Disclaimer. What do you think of Level 39?
I'm really impressed. Yeah, I mean, I came here slightly sceptical because whenever I've come to Canary Wharf in the past, it's it's quite staid. You go to these kind of boring-looking offices, and you talk to bankers and finance people, and it's fine. It's kind of what you'd expect. Walking in here, though, I mean, it's beautiful. It's nicely set up. We have this kind of beautiful yellow sofas and chairs around, and there are kind of interesting technology companies and guys wearing jeans wandering around. So yeah, I was a skeptic, and I think actually now I could probably quite happily work here.
Huddle are coming to work at Level 39.